This goal setting system literally changed my life. It's the first week in March now, and more than 90% of people have already given up on their New Year's resolutions. These were things that were super important to them just 2 months ago, and they've already quit. Why? Because motivation is not enough for you to achieve your goals. I've been there before. I've been incredibly passionate about a change I wanted to make in my life. My motivation was strong, and I failed to get there because motivation does not beat systems. Systems are greater than goals. In this video, I'm going to go through a 12-week plan that you can go through, that I use all the time, that will help you be successful achieving the things you want to achieve, keep you on track, and make it almost impossible not to achieve your goals. So let's do it. How's it going, folks? My name's Marcus. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here on this channel, I like to talk about technology, EDC, and anything that can help me live a happier, balanced, more productive life. So the first part of success here with any of these programs is that you need to be able to define a clear goal. And what I like to do, and something that I've learned from the tech industry, is talk about things in the future, in the present tense, to see do they feel right and do they fit. It's like putting on a new jacket to see does it fit your style, does it fit you comfortably. You have to feel the goal, put it on, and see does it fit what you're trying to achieve. So for me, present tense statement about the future. I want to do a number of things. It's around health and fitness. I've been on a big health and fitness push for the last 8 months, and I want to continue to focus on my health. I want to feel good. I want to get lean. I want to be in great shape so that I can play with my kids. I got 2 young girls, and I want to be able to run around, climb on the monkey bars, and just generally have fun with them. Those are the motivating factors for me, and that's why I'm feeling motivated to do it. But none of those in themselves are a goal. So a goal for me might be that I have less than 20% body fat, which means I can either increase my percentage muscle or I can reduce my weight retaining the muscle I have. But there's a bunch of ways to get there, which is why I like this as a goal. So for me, what I would do, sticking to the present tense future state, is I would say, so it's June and I have 20% body fat, and that makes me feel great. I feel comfortable in my body and I can do the things I want to be able to do. And that's a great goal for a number of reasons. So when you're assessing whether something's a good goal or not, I like to use the SMART system. And this is something, again, I've learned from the time that I've worked in the tech sector. So the way you can use the SMART system to test is your goal, a good goal, is by, is it SMART? Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it relevant? And is it time bound? And when I look back at my statement, yes, it's definitely specific. I'm setting exactly what I want to do, 20% body fat. Is it measurable? Yes, I can measure my body fat. I know what it is today and I can measure it in 3 months from now. Is it attainable? It's a good stretch goal for me. Losing 3% body fat is going to be tough for me over a 12-week period, but I really want to give it a go. And it's motivating for me, which is important as well. Is it relevant? Yes, having a lower percentage body fat to me will indicate that I'm fitter, I'm leaner, that I'm doing things with, I'll be able to do more with my body if I have less to carry around with me. So it does achieve my goal. And is it time bound? Yes, I've set myself 12 weeks to be able to achieve this, which is what makes it a great goal. So great, we've set a good goal, which is something everybody does when they do your New Year's resolutions. You say something you will want and something you're going to do this year. You've got the motivation part and you've kind of said, here's the goal that I want to achieve. But this part here is the difference between setting a goal and actually achieving success. So the key thing you want to do is break that goal down into systems and processes that will get you there. And I don't mean at a high level, I'm going to go to the gym more. I'm going to, you know, eat less or eat healthier. Those things are far too vague to be successful. So this is a journal I use myself, which helps me achieve my goals. It's the Finisher's Journal 3.0, and it does just that. It helps you break down your goals into 12-week plans. So you can see in the Finisher's Journal here, I've got my SMART goals here, and it gives some examples, kind of similar to the examples I've just given you around my own one. But I've set my own outcome here. I've set my SMART goal about what I want to do around reducing my percentage body fat. And it's given me some spots here where I can put some action steps in. Action steps are really important because it takes this lofty idea of a goal and starts to break it down into the things you're going to do to get you to where you need to be. So breaking your goal down into steps is really important. And for me, it's about, you know, in this example, lifting weights and doing zone 2 cardio, about eating more protein and staying within a calorie deficit. It's about taking weekly photos and measurements to keep myself motivated. So these are some of the things that I think I'm going to need to do in order to achieve my goal in 12 weeks time. Once you've written this down, there's some nice check boxes and some questions you can ask yourself around, are your goal statements specific and measurable enough? Is each action step taking direct impact and actually pushing that goal forward? And is every action step listed actionable and within my control? There's no point in putting some stuff in here that I just can't do. There's no reason. One of the things I really like here, and something I haven't done in my own system, is what's my key motivation. And I've written increase my health span and feel great. So always bringing your goal back and the actions you're doing back to your key motivation is something that will help you stay on the flywheel and keep going. So I like that they call it out here at the very beginning as to what might keep you motivated. And then there's a very small progress chart on the first page where I can come back and fill it in as I drop from 23% down to 20% hopefully over the next 3 months. You tell me if you notice a difference in the videos, see if I'm successful or not. But I like that. The very first page really starts to break things down and make you want to do things. Now there's other pages where you can do different goals. I'm actually a really big fan of taking on one goal per quarter. You can have a secondary goal, but I typically find I don't achieve my second goal. You can only really pick one thing. At the moment, for me in my life, there's two big things I'm doing. I'm working on my health and fitness, and I'm really working on my financial independence and setting my finance up for the rest of my life and for my kids. So if you're interested in some of that, I'm really happy to do a video on that. I've learned a lot, and I've been making a lot of changes in my own personal finances. But right now we're talking about health and how you set your goals, and how I believe having one core goal per quarter is the best way to do it. I just want to take a quick break from the video to ask you to like and subscribe to this video. I've got a small YouTube channel, so everything helps the algorithm find me. Okay, back to the content. So after that, once you've done that, we've got a habit tracker. Now the habit tracker is for places where you can put in all the changes you're trying to make on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis or on a daily basis. You list them out all here, and it's basic. You just check them off as you do it. I find it incredibly motivational for two reasons. One, there's something about checking it off, coloring it in, that just gives you that sense of satisfaction. It's different than pulling out your phone and checking it off on your phone. I'm a big fan of paper, and scribbling it out on paper makes it real. But two, when there's gaps, it really points out to you where you're failing. Very quickly it shows you the things that you're not achieving that you've committed to doing. And my number one rule here is never miss twice. If you miss something once, if you say you're going to go to a gym one day and you can't go that day, don't miss the next time. The next time is the most important time, because it's the time where if you don't go that time, you're someone who doesn't go to the gym. If you miss once, everybody misses once. There's a reason why you miss once. Don't miss twice. It's a key rule. I learned from Matt Diavella watching his videos years ago. It's a great little rule. So then it brings down to the weekly view. Now the really important thing about the weekly view is you have to set your priority tasks for the week. So what's the most important thing that you will do that week to impact your goal? And being thoughtful in advance about the one thing that you must do to be successful, and writing it down at the top of the page is really, really motivating. It helps you align your thoughts. It's just a great way of doing it. There's lots of places where you can put in your secondary tasks as well. So for me, the very first step in my continuing to lose weight was get back on track on my eating plan. For the last couple of weeks, or probably honestly the last 6 weeks, I haven't been eating as well as I had been before that. And the number one thing to kick me back into gear is to get back on my eating plan. That's my primary goal for the week in this example. And I've been doing this for 8 days now. And then I've got my secondary tasks around logging calories, being specific, saying which app I'll use, eating specific numbers, protein 160 grams, blood glucose monitors, the things that I'm going to do to help me be on track. But those are all secondary actions to my primary thing, which is get my eating plan back on track. Once you've defined what you're going to do for your first week, then you can go through your days. And what I do for a daily planner is you've got a primary task. So similar to your weekly task, the number one thing you're going to do that day, if you only got one thing towards achieving your goals, remember we all have busy day jobs, we've got kids, we've got commitments, you can't just schedule your entire day out. But the number one thing, if you just did one thing that day, what would be successful for you? And for me, I've called out eating protein, because I want to increase the amount of protein intake I take. That's something that typically lacks. When I fall off the wagon, I don't eat enough protein. So given my eating plans, my number one thing for the week, eating enough protein on the first day is a key thing to kick me into gear. I've got my secondary tasks, like I want to lift for 45 minutes, I wanted to eat less than 2,000 calories, and then you've got additional tasks. The additional tasks might be things that don't directly drive your goal, but things that you want to do that are motivating as well. And then there's a little, on the right hand side, a little bit of a time-bound box, something where you're going to commit to doing the thing at a certain time, like me taking my vitamins in the morning, planning out when I was going to take the different parts of protein, 50-gram shake at 10 o'clock usually, having 50 grams of lean turkey at lunchtime, something like that, lifting heavy at 8:30 in the morning. Those are the things that I want to do on that specific day to keep me in line with the goal. Now pause. The best thing about this is you don't lose the wood from the trees. If I break my week down into what I'm doing each day, and I'm going back to my habit tracker and checking off the things as I go, I can be reassured that in any one day I don't have to maintain the motivation or the confidence in my 12-week goal. I know that just doing that one thing that day will get me a step closer to the thing that I want to achieve in the 12-week time. I've taken the time to plan it, and that just doing that thing will get me there. I find it incredibly motivating. It keeps me on the wheel. Some days I don't hit it, some days it doesn't happen, and I don't get to check things out, but guess what? I don't miss twice, and this is a great way to keep you on track. Another thing I love about this, anyone who's watched this channel before, every morning I get up and I write my morning pages. So when I come down to the office here, the first thing I do is I sit at my writing desk and I just sit and I write 2 or 3 pages of just whatever's in my mind. I've started doing that. What I've written here for my first week was a bunch of inspirational quotes, one of them being "Never Miss Twice" by Matt D'Avella. But other things like "All growth comes at the end of your comfort zone" by Tony Robbins. This is the one I love, and I think this journal epitomizes it. "A goal is a wish. A standard holds you accountable." And I think that's the key thing we're trying to do here with these journals. We're just using it as a framework to keep you accountable so you're achieving your goals. But I use these notes in this page here on the right hand side actually to do my morning pages. So not only am I doing my goals for the 3 months, I'm working on my mental health by filling out what's important about the goal on the right hand side of each page, and it keeps my mind in the zone, it keeps me thinking about these things in the long term. The last thing that they have here, going back to the keeping yourself motivated, that I really love, is a highlight of the day. And that's about picking out a win for that day. At the end of each day, celebrating one thing you did. Even if you had a bad day, you didn't go to the gym, you didn't eat the way you were supposed to eat in my example, or you didn't do the thing you were supposed to do. Finding the positive in the thing you're grateful for in that day flips it in your head, which means the next day when you come to it, you're finishing the day grateful for one thing that the next day you're not going to miss. You're going to come in, you're going to do it hard, you're going to do it properly. Everybody misses sometimes, you're not going to do it twice. Finish Your Secrets are the sponsors of today's video. I use a bunch of their products. I've talked to them before. I've used these for a long time. I'm happy to stand over them, but I'd like to thank them for sponsoring today's video. If you're interested in pursuing your own goals and being more successful in general, have a good look at this journal. It doesn't have to be this journal, a piece of paper will work as well, but I do like this one. It's something I use myself, and it really has helped me be successful. So what are some of the things that you do as part of your system? Do you use a regular journal? Have you ever used the Finisher's Journal before? How do you do it? Or do you think it's all nonsense? Do you think setting goals is a waste of time? Or I'd love to hear it all in the comments below. Let me know how you feel about it. Good luck.